All right, hi guys. This is There's Always a Choice podcast with Althea and Robert.
How y'all doing? We're here today. We got a few topics on hand. I hope you guys enjoyed the last video, how the stuff is going. So, you probably tune in. This might be your first. We have a few other videos that we went through.
Yeah.
And you can check up on those. And today we're
going to be basically discussing the importance of having like a mentor or somebody guiding you through life and things like that. So today we're going to start with Robert.
Yeah. All right. So we're discussing like things to go over, and part of it is mentorship in life, where sometimes you reach a certain point in growing and your mind tells you that there's more outside of yourself. So you might think that you know more than you do, and we're not wrong for being curious and inquisitive about ourselves and the world outside of us. Some people have been there before. There's some people who want the best for you. Some people put themselves in a position to like have learned and experienced certain things and are willing to share their experience or guide others along their way. And then in the last episode, I think we spoke about things such as guidance counselors. Mentors could be almost anyone that you look up to in a positive way, and they have qualities that we want to follow, emulate. Right. It could be a teacher, a counselor. Mentor could be that cool bus driver who waits the extra 2 minutes when this person late.
Could be your siblings, things like that. Older brother and sister you might look up to. Yep. It could even be a friend's older brother and sister that you look up to or something like that, or a friend that are emulating qualities that you kind of want to emulate yourself.
Yeah, it could be a peer, like a friend who has the kind of structure and guidance where you can tell that they have good intentions for me and won't lead me astray, because there's some people out there like that. They have good souls, they got good intentions, and we refer to them, some of them, such as light workers in the spiritual field. And some of us have more qualities of that. We'll get into that later, but however, they have mentorship programs out there too for people who want to.
The one thing though I will say with mentorship programs like the Boys and Girls Club and stuff like that, where you get like an older brother or older sister that helps you. Yeah, exactly. But what was I gonna say? I'm not gonna lie though, when it comes to like picking a mentor, I would say if you see somebody and with their life, like you wouldn't want your life to look like their life, don't be taking advice from nobody like that. And that's just not even just with mentor. Just don't take advice from people who don't have anything that you would want. It just wouldn't make any sense. Like, those usually be the people that got the most to say.
Don't look at how I live. Just listen to how I tell you to live.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what? But
exactly.
Yeah. As far as mentorship goes too, also like trust your gut, trust your intuition, stand up for yourself always through life, because we have inner mentors. You have your mind, you have your heart, you have your gut instinct. Sometimes we just listen a little bit more. Say yes when it applies to you and say no when it doesn't apply. Be kind enough to yourself to make the kind of calls that feel good for you, not about what other people benefit from, and you shouldn't be in a position to feel guilty if you meet like certain requirements along the way of mentorship, because a lot of life is similar, but not too many lives are the same. So just live yours. And as far as the mentorship thing goes, you got grandparents, because it's something about the elderly that reach a certain point and they can just keep it a buck with you, like keep it 100 and tell you that, hey, this is this and this is that. And they also put you on game of, yo, don't listen to your parents, because when I was raising them, they wasn't as like how they want to present themselves now. Like they were little troublemakers, little riffraffs. Yeah,
exactly.
That type of thing. As far as mentors, if you need one, you just follow your curiosity. You could check in with a guidance counselor. You could check online. A lot of things are available at your fingertips in your phone. You could Google the YMCA. You don't necessarily even need to have a mentor. You could like join a program. You could join like YMCA, whatever sports or activities, sports, art, whatever. You could pick up something to do in the meantime.
I also feel like when you're on like a journey of like finding yourself or just working on yourself and things like that, and you're trying to evolve more into yourself, I feel like mentors just usually appear. Like you'll eventually end up finding somebody naturally too. Like I feel like that does happen for most people, but even so, like even if you aren't able to find somebody to shadow like right at this moment or things like that, you can do what I did, which was I couldn't find like a person specifically, so I was looking at like YouTubers and things like that, you know, or I would listen to people's like podcasts and stuff like that. Wow, we're doing a podcast. Maybe I'm your mentor. But no, like for real, like I would find people online and just listen to them and, you know, be able to, because bro, you can find out almost anything on the internet. So there's a lot of people that are teaching and you can find so much stuff for free where you don't have to pay for it. So it's almost like you have a mentor even though you don't have a mentor. You know what I mean? Or they're not physically with you helping you. But I know some people do kind of need that extra help and things like that. And in that case, you know, if you can't find one immediately, I would say to just try to continue working on yourself and try to continue, like, you know, doing as much self-help as you can. Because I feel like it's naturally you're going to end up finding somebody that's going to flow with you and that's going to be able to, well, as long as you ask for help, because not everybody's just going to, you know, jump at the opportunity to help you. But if you're willing to ask for help as well, then you'll eventually find somebody that is willing to help you in the area that you're looking to improve in. You know what I mean? Whether that be life or a specific like area in life, you know, that you wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and then another thing too, just kind of basically what you were saying about the grandparents and stuff like that earlier, and then your parents. Also wanted to get into another topic, which was basically how your parents are people. Which, yes, that sounds simple, and it's kind of like, well, duh, of course my parents are people. You get what I mean? Like, but I feel like at the same time, we say these things and we think these things, but it's kind of harder to digest, especially when you may have had like, well, I feel like everybody's had rough times with their parents and things like that. Everybody's gone through some type of, even if it was like teenage rebellion or anything like that, like everybody's had like tough times with their parents where it's just like, you know, you guys aren't really in a good place or things like that. So with instances like that, it's like you have to remember your parents aren't just your parents, you know, like before they had you, they were a person, you know what I mean? Or before they had any children at all, they were just them, you know? And certain things, certain like ways that they act, it's not necessarily, oh, they're acting that way because they're your parent. They're acting that way because that's who they are as a person. You know what I mean? So it's like not everybody's going to change and mold themselves to be better or change themselves to accommodate their children just because they had children. You know what I mean? Like not everybody, and that's another thing too. Just with parenting in general, I got a lot to say. I know. But just with parenting in general, like there's no like you don't go through a workshop or like, you know, you don't have to take classes, go to school to be a parent. Nah, y'all just. And then you can just be a parent like that. Excuse my, but you know what that means. You know what that means. So it really like anybody could be a parent out here, and that's why there's, you know, so many like, unfortunately, so many, you know, children that end up in like foster homes and things like that, where parents just don't want to take care of their kids, or they get their kids taken away from them because they weren't, you know, ready to have kids, you know. Whether that be financially, mentally, they might be, you know, going through some stuff, or also, I don't know how I would list that, but, you know, some of them be on drugs, so take that as you will, but, you know what I mean, there's a lot of different ways, but even outside of that, if they are, you know, financially able to take care of it mentally in other ways, like, they might not be ready for, you know, children and things like that. Even though they had children, they might have thought they were ready. But being a parent, it just takes like, you know, a lot of patience, a lot of just like, you know, like you have to kind of like tell your ego to be quiet a lot, you know, because it's just like a lot of, oh, I'm the bigger, you know, you got to listen to me. And then when the kids don't listen to you, then it's just like, oh, why aren't you doing that? You know what I mean? Like, this is how it's supposed to work. But in actuality, it's like, not only is the parent a person, but also the child is also a person. So they're going to have their own, you know, thoughts, opinions, and things like that. And they're going to want to go about their lives in a certain way, which also goes to the mentoring thing within itself too, because it's like, you know, with parents and them trying to raise their child, or their child, you know, looking up to their parents and, you know, kind of following what they do, or, you know, looking up to them as an example of what they can do. It's like, that's not always going to be the best thing, because like I just said, a parent is a person and a kid is a person as well. So it's like, just because the parent takes one path in life doesn't necessarily mean that kid is going to take the same exact path as their parents. You know, they're two individuals, which means they're going to be on their two individual paths. You get what I mean?
Piggybacking off what you said about choosing a path, it's kind of just in life, sometimes we have a bigger plan for other people's journey than we should. Let's say, like, you know, it's some guys and we trying out for football. It'll be cool if most of the group try out, if whoever is athletic or not, whatever, just, hey, come try out for the team, let's be on the team together. That's the idea. But the ones who might choose not to, they like, yo, what you doing? Come on, it's supposed to be us, whatever. We tend to think or feel a way about somebody else's decision, and maybe they just don't want to be an athlete. Or if you have young women who want to cheer or like whatever, do track, just volleyball, anything, sports, athletics, or clubs. It doesn't have to be sports. Chess club, like, we often choose or think that some people should go in this direction because of your influence. Some parents who were people before, some of them have kids and they want them to be their mini-me's, whereas like, you're going to be a smaller version of myself. And we don't know if these people are good or bad, but they want that person to just be just like them. And sometimes the world don't need two of the same people, because like, definitely, look at me. You think we need a mini-me of me running around? We don't need to vote on that. We're not going to have something come on the screen, but just leave it. But yeah, some parents, they set up let's say a business, and they want the child to follow in the footsteps of the business, but that person wants to do something else for themselves. Their life path, a calling, their choice is something different. And that might cause a rift. That might cause, you know, a separation of whatever, because the parents thinking like, hey, you're going to do what I lined up for the family. This is what supported us. This is what got us here. And you're going to carry it on. And your child is going to take it here and carry it on too. And your child's child, whoever, and they want to leave a legacy based on someone who you might not even be comfortable enough to tell your parent, like, you know, I thought it was cool growing up and seeing what you do and coming like, parents take the kids to work day, take a child to work day, and it was cool. But then I grew more in my own interests, my mind, my growth, and I realized there's some things different that interest me in other ways, and I'd rather choose that. And whether it's good, bad, or it hurts, people miss the part of being happy for somebody else.
Yeah. And then another thing, piggyback off of what you said, some parents, not even that they would want for their child to follow in their footsteps. Some parents have it, you know, in their head, they want their child to be better than them. But the thing is, they want their child to be better than them in the ideal of what they think is better for them. Yeah. You get what I mean? So it's like, let's say your mother, she worked at like Payless or something like that. Okay. I don't even know if Payless is still open. I don't know.
They've been shut them down before.
Yeah, that's just the first thing that came to my head. But, you know, just, you know, saying that. Let's say exactly something whatever. He's working at somewhere, like a retail store or something like that. And then she wants you to be like a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. But you have it in your heart that you want to be an artist. It's like, that's so conflicting because it's like, yes, your parent does want better for you. They don't even want you to be like them. They want you to be better than them. But at the same time, I can still be better than you in a sense. Not like to say, you know, like, oh, I'm better than you. But like, you know, it's like you can still find your way and find your own path, and even if it's not necessarily what they would say was better, it's going to be better for you in the end because you're following your heart. You know, you're doing what's going to be better in your own path, you know, something that's going to feel right with you, so where you end up living your life happy. Because it's like, what if you do have the capacity, like, you know, where you're smart enough, whatever, you can be a lawyer, you know, but then it's like, would you rather just live your life for your parents at that point? Because it's like, you know, in your heart you want to be a painter, you know, or something like that, and it's just like, you're not following your dream, you're just following what your parent had set it out for you. Which is why it's also important to find, it's not necessarily like you have to have a mentor, but I feel like it's easier when you do have a mentor, because in the field that you want to pursue or wherever you are trying to improve in life, because it's like you have that person that has already done it. And when you see people that have already done it, it gives you more motivation. Like, hey, they did it, so why can't I? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's possible. You know it's possible because you see that it's possible. Somebody else already did it, so you know for a fact it is possible. So if they can do it, so can I. And it kind of gives you more drive and motivation, especially when you have a person that has already done it and they're cheering you on. It's just like they can see your potential as well. So it's like, it kind of gives you, you know, it keeps that fire lit inside of you to the point where it's like, you know, I can do this.
Some of us, it's just, we perform a little better just knowing that you have one person that believes in you. Yeah. Like, just without any benefit for themselves. Because there are people out there like that. They want you to do well. They want you to succeed. They want you to win. And they just hope for the best for you. As far as the mentorship goes, too, you could also, you know, go in the field of what your parents recommend, give it a look, and then you can say, hey, you know what, I actually went to, you know, a courtroom hearing, a mock trial, whatever it is, or just spoke to somebody in the thing, and the mentor could let you know the good and what's not so good about the field, because life comes with waves.
Yeah, ups and downs.
Sometimes. And the let's say a lawyer, yeah, they make money, but you might have 2 months in advance to read up on a trial, and you got, like, you in the library.
Yeah, you might have, like, no time for your social life and things like that. And it's like, yeah, you know, like, now I have the finances, but it's like, when am I going to even have time to spend it? If I'm literally cooped up in this damn office all day. You know what I mean?
That's what more than one career where you hear about people who, they show the list of careers and they're like, oh, it makes this much money, it makes that much money. And then people just hear the coin amount and like, that's what I want to do. Yeah. And I think part of the balance and harmony in this world is about others that have picked a field based on knowing that this cash amount is attached to it and the room for growth in terms of making money, but they don't know the requirements of the job. They don't know, like, how some workers are in certain fields, because, like, lawyers, you have the defense and you have the prosecution, and some of them are friends, but then some of them, you know, they backstab each other to win a case, to get a bigger bonus, to get a bigger payday, to get a better rate. They want that 5-star rating on Lawyer Google or whatever they thing be at, Lawyer Yelp, and they're willing to, you know, undercut people, and that's in life as well. But more than likely, when you do something with your calling, you found a rough path, there's going to be times when you get, like Althea said, you could run into a mentor. Like, you're going to find that person's going to find you. You do what you love, you're going to find what it is. And even if you don't find it on the outside, you can remember that it's inside you, the reason that you chose it, that it's not always going to be the best. You might not always be at your best. Though choose happiness over being able to just say I have this title, I have this job, I make this money, I drive this car,
exactly.
I have this house, I live in this neighborhood, I went to this school, I knew these people, I ran with this crowd.
Exactly.
And some of those people, like, if they tell the truth, they're not really happy.
Exactly. And then at the end of the day, think about it. Like, let's say 50, 60, however old you are, how many years you got left, when you're old and gray and, you know, you're not working anymore, do you really want to look back and say, wow, you know, like, I got all this money, but, like, I didn't really do what I felt like I could have done? You get what I mean? Like, I chose the path for, I guess, financial success, but at the same time, I didn't choose what was in my heart at the time. And it's like, what could have been if I did choose, you know, what was in my heart type things too. And shoot, you got me messed up. I ain't never gonna ask what could have been. I'm gonna find out.
Pick the things that are fulfilling for you, things that, you know, bring you joy. And we know most, like, not always, most times, if you're in a safe space, gated community, gate code, and someone asks you and you trust them, they say, hey, what you want to do? Like, what would you rather do?
Yeah.
In an honest place, you might say what you really feel. Just be brave enough to make that decision for your own life and not think about, you know, like all the other times based on emotion or worrying about somebody's perception of what they might think about you. Think about when you lay down at night, like, am I doing the things that I want to do for me? Will my younger self be proud of where I am right now in this present moment, in the direction that I want to go? Is it my choice? Because there's always a choice, but the thing about that is picking the choice for you.
Yeah.
With those things said, I also want to go into the part of mentorship and, you know, parents being people and not having all the answers. So you look at them as like regular people, as you said earlier. You know, they were two individuals who probably found attraction, infatuation, romance, love, and sometimes, you know, things happen, and they're in a place, they're receptive of what happened, they plan for what happened. It might have been a surprise. They had you, you're here. I won't even go into people who asked to be here, not asked to be here. We're here. It's like the math on being,
If you're watching this video, it's too late. You're already here.
that ain't a choice. Wait. So the math, the math on being a human is wild. No one knows the exact number. What I want to say is that while you're here, and the mentor should put you in a position, and your parents should put you in a position. But it's like having people that don't know all the answers try to guide you in a certain way. It's going to be some days when you're like, yo, y'all really parenting today. Y'all doing all the things that I want.
Parenting.
You know, like they remember to sign the field trip form. They remember to, you know, leave you extra money or something for the school project. You know, like they took off work to go to the science fair. Like whatever it is, whatever parenting, or y'all had some pie or cake or whatever, and it was extra, and they brown paper bagged you. Like, what's this? Y'all don't paper. You're like, oh, word, wow, you know, whatever it is, they did that for you. And there's times when, you know, they might forget because they might have a bigger project at work. Work might get more busy. As a person, they might just want some mental space. They might just want some motherly or fatherly time to themselves, just the same way we might take time when we're growing to, hey, I'm gonna just chill in my room right now. Hey, you really need somebody to say, what you doing? Chilling. You're not doing nothing.
Yeah.
It's not surprising to think that sometimes your parents might want to do that. Like, just get a drink. Could be ginger ale. Could be wine. Listen to some.
Could be lick, huh?
Listen to some music. Just relax. They did things that we probably do now before our time in different ways. They probably went to, you know, delis, diners, hamburger joints, arcade. They dated, hung out, and you know how it goes. So they might not set you on the right path and put you up on game on the people to look out for. They might say, hey, if you're a young lady, stay away from boys. Boys want one thing, focus on your books, career, until, you know, don't mess with a man until he could provide you with a house and a home and support you and the kids. Like, you know, like most people's journey is to move from a young lady to a woman to a mother and be a stay-at-home mom when you have goals, dreams, and desires of your own. With young men, it's kind of the same way. Hey, focus on school, worry about your books, worry about your career, make enough money, the women will come to you. It's like, yo, so if I got enough bank, every woman is going to be like, you know, chasing the cheddar. I'm going to leave the cookie crumbs and they're going to follow. Okay, so, and it's like, that is just like advice, and it's so broad, but the sitting down and communication of, you know, you're going to be moving through life, you're going to mature, certain things are going to happen with you and other people, your body changes, your mentality changes, life changes as far as moving forward, and things to be aware of and look out for. So the guidance in life based on societal standards of how we should progress and move forward also has just like life lessons, such as knowing what to do in situations, or we call it street smarts. You want to be able to be balanced, at least on both levels.
Yeah. I'll have to do a part 2 to this video because I don't know. I feel like some of these might come just a little bit later, so we might have to do another part 2. Okay.
I love the Althea carrying a podcast with guest speaker Robert, and we appreciate all the viewers, all the support. Guest speaker? Yeah, I said guest speaker. I'm being humble. But I'm
your name's in the title.
Yeah, you're right. I'm a every episode guest speaker. Just, you know, all right. I'm not a guest speaker.
Yeah. Okay.
Founding member. Thank you guys for tuning in, for listening. We appreciate all the support that you have now, in the future, moving forward.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Go with your heart. Appreciate you. Stay safe.
Bye. Bye, guys.